Cold air leaks through a stairwell door on 116th Street. Your phone buzzes once. No name. Just a number you memorize, then delete. Inside the bodega, the owner doesn't look up, he just nods toward the back. You keep your face calm. You keep your hands steady. This is your life, level by level, inside a Bratva sleeper network. The recruit, where initiation becomes allegiance. Spanish Harlem smells like fried food, bus exhaust, and cheap cologne. You run errands that look like nothing, carry a bag from Lexington to Pleasant, wait outside a Botanica, sit in a barbershop too long and listen. You learn the crew's rules fast. Show up early, talk less, never ask why. Cash comes in envelopes with no writing. Names come as nicknames. A favor means a debt. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself you're just helping with rides, pickups, harmless introductions. You tell yourself fast money is the same as honest money if you don't look too close. A local cop meets you behind a laundromat on 1st Avenue, uniform shirt open, gold chain catching the light. You pass him a paper bag with 2 bottles and an envelope. He passes you a schedule when a patrol car circles when it doesn't. The street stays normal. That's the point. You realize allegiance isn't sworn with words. It's paid in small obediences, stacked like bricks until you can't see daylight. The courier. Trust disguised as silence. Now you move, constantly. Port Authority at dawn. Greyhound terminals in Newark. A motel off I-95 where the carpet smells like bleach and old smoke. You carry a duffel that could be gym clothes to anyone watching until you feel the hard rectangles taped inside the lining. The routine is tight. Buy a ticket in cash. Sit near the middle. Don't use the same rest stop twice. In your pocket, a burner, a second SIM, and a receipt with a handwritten time that means more than the address. You tell yourself you're invisible. You tell yourself the dog walking past you is just a dog. You tell yourself the state trooper at the toll plaza isn't looking at you, not really. The bundles aren't just heroin. Sometimes there's a micro SD card inside a vitamin bottle. Sometimes a folded note with one instruction: wait 48. Paid informants call ahead. Construction on the shoulder. Inspection station open. Take Route 46 instead. You build 2 lives in the same body, and the seam starts to itch like a stitch that won't heal. The handler. Where authority tests resolve. You stop carrying bags and start carrying people. 2 new recruits sit across from you at a diner on 2nd Avenue. Hands wrapped around coffee they don't drink. You watch their eyes more than their words. Who lies too smoothly? Who flinches at sirens? Who keeps checking the door? Your phone calls get shorter. Your meetings get quieter. You keep a notebook with no names, just dates, amounts, and little marks that mean reliable or problem. You tell yourself you're protecting the network. You tell yourself discipline prevents mistakes. You tell yourself fear is just another tool, like a lock or a code. Once a month, you take a call that starts with a long pause and a Moscow area code. The voice is calm, bored even, asking about throughput and heat. You answer in numbers. Pounds moved, cash cleared, who is shaky. Then another call comes in, an informant whispering names you've started to recognize, agents who like the same bars, who park the same unmarked cars. At this level, you don't just deliver orders. You become the reason someone disappears from the table, and nobody asks where the chair went. You've learned to blend in, then to move product, then to move people. The next step is moving entire operations routes, ships, alliances while your own address keeps changing for a reason. The strategist, where you stop running routes and start designing them. Your mornings start with maps, not messages. A laminated port diagram from Newark sits under a takeout container, grease spots marking the exact gate where cameras loop on a 14-second delay. You keep a cheap laptop that never touches your home Wi-Fi. You rent cars under real names that don't belong to you. You drink espresso in Flushing and watch who enters the cafe, not who leaves. You don't just move product now. You shape flow: who gets the load, which crew holds it for 12 hours, which trucking company breaks down on the turnpike shoulder. You learn container numbers, seal colors, customs exam schedules. You memorize the names of 3 union stewards, 2 freight forwarders, and 1 night supervisor who hates his boss enough to answer at 2:17 a.m. You tell yourself it's logistics. You tell yourself it's distance from the street. You tell yourself spreadsheets can't bleed. Then a case officer voice comes through the burner. One link is loud. Fix it. You send a text with a time and an address, and by lunch the loud link stops answering forever. At this level, you don't pull strings, you become the hand that tightens the knot until the rope forgets it was ever loose. The ghost. Where the network survives because you no longer exist inside it. You wake up in a room with no photos. No mail. No familiar mug in the cabinet. Your passport is real, your name is real, and your past is a file someone else maintains like a weapon kept clean. The apartment is near Roosevelt Island because the ferry crowds blur faces and the F train gives you exits in both directions. You live on routines designed to look accidental. Gym at 6:10, grocery at 7:05, a haircut on 31st Street every third Thursday. You keep 2 phones powered off in a cookie tin, batteries removed. When you speak in half sentences. When you meet in places with glass fronts and loud steamed 24-hour diners, car washes, the echoing tile of Penn Station corridors. You tell yourself you're safe. You tell yourself you're untouchable. You tell yourself being unknown is the same as being free. But you don't give orders anymore. You give absences, one delayed shipment here, one sudden arrest there, a rumor seeded so a rival crew turns inward. Sometimes Moscow calls. Sometimes nobody calls for weeks, and the silence is its own instruction. You become so invisible you start to doubt your own weight, like a shadow that can't find the body it was meant to follow. There's no promotion that lets you breathe easier. The higher you climb, the smaller your life gets, fewer friends, fewer rooms you can walk into, fewer words you can safely say out loud. You learn that loyalty isn't a feeling, it's a habit built from daily, precise choices. And even when you disappear perfectly, the work keeps moving through you, like a current you can't switch off.